thinking got me thinking, how can I come up and get myself a Lincoln?
Hey, it's the Lincoln Addict here, and wanted to do a quick video at night. This is the first time I've been out here messing with the car since I got all the LEDs in. So Nathan did a great job at Driving Dreams Restorations with his video. He showed us side by side, I think both 64s. One, both at night, one had the old incandescent bulbs, the other had LEDs. And here's what I've done. I basically swapped all of these LED lights out. And in the lincolnforum.net, I actually did a kind of a mock-up document where I pointed out all the bulbs. Now, I did realize after I made that, I forgot to point out this one. And it didn't dawn on me until the other day when I had tested the lights for the first time. What I ended up doing was I had to take off, and it's going to be hard to see here, but this is the headlight switch. And there's a simple trick most of you guys know to pull the this piece out. There's a button you push, and once you push the button, you pull it to this point, and then once you push the button, then this pulls out, and then you unthread this piece here with like a flathead screwdriver, and then this comes apart from the lower dash panel. So what I ended up doing is I plugged that back in, which you can't see. But again, many of the guys, you'll see Nick at the Slab Shack and different guys that are working on these cars, they'll essentially take the lower dash panel all the way out of the car to get it out of your way. And then you'll have whatever you can easily just kind of reconnect. This is the wiper, so that stays. The only thing that I had cut was this wire here, which goes to the bulb right next to the wiper switch in the 6465. So I did cut that because I can solder that real simple, and it's not a lot of voltage going through there. But you can kind of see that. I did want to show, which I don't have the little deal for the hazards hooked up, so I can't show kind of the blinkers. But of course, I'll check that. I'll probably take that off the lower dash panel. I think it's pretty simple. I did a video the other day, which I don't have I took the map light back out. It was kind of dangling there, and it just kind of, I didn't want to leave that. Gosh, what else? Let's see. I think I don't know if there's a light. I want to say there's a light in that radio, so I need to check into that. Some of you guys probably know, but if there is a light in that radio at some point, I will take that apart and I will change that bulb. John Cashman came by, we hung out, Tony, myself, a couple of us, we went to eat, and he had showed me like a little trick over here that he does, which I'll have to kind of maybe cover that in another video. But I did that kind of quick insider tip, and that was pretty cool because now I've got power to the convertible switch here. When the key is on, even if you don't have to kind of mess with, if you will, the neutral safety switch, which a lot of guys you'll kind of see, they'll have to kind of reach in their car. And I know Tony does this on a 65. Again, it's kind of a theft deterrent, but you can kind of mess with this to get the neutral safety switch where it needs to be, and then you'll have power to the convertible switch, which again, sorry, you can't see. It's just a little too dark out here, but I will dim these too to kind of show you guys how that really, really, really bright off. And I'm trying to do this like with one hand. Ooh, and it's not liking that, but you can kind of see right here. So it works pretty darn good. Now, Nathan has kind of mentioned in a couple of his videos about the whole, about some of these maybe being a little too bright. I'm going to drive the wheels off my car, so I don't know that some of these would be annoying, so to speak, because I could just dim them down. But, like, for instance, this one, I don't know how bright it's going to be once the bezel's back in. Obviously, like a lot of these older cars, they have these little, I don't know what those are called, I call them little bubble things that kind of shield the light a little bit. This doesn't, as an example. So Again, he had kind of mentioned a few of these, maybe even his map lights. He kind of felt like he could have went with a little bit less lumens, I think it's referred to as, but you could probably get OCD with it. The more you are accustomed to start using these different bulbs and things like that, you're probably going to know them like the back of your hand. But for me, it was just go on Amazon and start buying. I think I bought a total of 3 sets. The main set changes the majority of these guys, which again, you're not gonna be able to see, but it's that same bulb there. That changes the majority of them. It did not fit. If you watch my other video, it did not fit behind this one, which is next to the lock switch on 64, 65. It just was too long, so I had to get a shorter one there. And then those shorter ones also will be used down here in this lower region. Again, I told you I cut the wire for the one. There's the key, where the key goes in on the right side. There's kind of like a bulb behind that on the lower, or one of these blue deals. And then there's where the wiper motor is. There's also another one of those blue things, and there's a light there. So I think what I ended up doing is the same bulb that I put into here when I ordered those. I think it was an order of, unfortunately, it was like I think a pack of 4 or a pack of 6. And I ended up using those. So I've used 3 so far. Not sure what these guys, the courtesy lamps, are going to be, or courtesy lights, which bulbs those are. I'll probably take those off tomorrow. That's only going to take a minute, those 2 screws. And you can go to Detroit Deviant. I just met up with James the other day. Good dude. DetroitDeviant.com, I think it is. Or look him up on Instagram, Detroit Deviant. Click the link in bio. He actually sells these little pieces of plastic. You can get, I think, like frosted. You can get clear, a little bit darker tinted one. And then also he makes, I don't know if it's the same exact one for here. No, it's got to be a lot bigger. It's got to be a lot bigger for here. But I'm pretty sure he makes this one too. And they're pretty reasonable. I want to say like a pair of these are $25. But you can kind of see, comparing the LEDs, then you look over there, the courtesy light in the door, and you see that kind of incandescent. I kind of like the old school look, to be honest, in a lot of cars, but I kind of said, with me diving in with as much as I'm doing here, I'd rather change the bulbs out, because I don't want to get to a point like where one bulb goes out. LEDs are just going to last a lot longer, and I'm not going to have to worry about it, hopefully forever. And the column is coming out soon. I want to say there's a light in here too. So I gotta double check that, but I'm pretty sure Nathan mentioned that there is a light that he puts in here. So I haven't driven this car I drove it at night 1 or 2 times before we really took it apart. But that's about it for now. Hopefully you guys enjoy these videos. I know some of them are just pretty basic, but what I've learned is people just want the content as long as it's good. And if it helps someone, great. But comment below. Make sure you subscribe to Lincoln Addict podcast. And that's a podcast I produce for Lincoln Continentals. 10 episodes in so far. A lot more to go, a lot more to talk about, a lot more to cover. And shout out to everybody that's given me a like or a comment in the past. Appreciate y'all. Take care. ODB, the Lincoln Addict. We out of here.